Dolts, Chris and Daryl, yeah, they run shit. Current world events and forever on some dumb shit. Fun lit with a Bush Light, especially. Even though they always getting banned, allegedly. Crack a bourbon, peep the sermon, it's just two dolts. And you know they hold it down like it's two ropes. So crack a bourbon, peep the sermon, it's just two dolts. Taking over in the game, bringing new hope.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for your favorite
round 2
multinational, dare I say, podcast. We're live on TikTok until the Chinese fuck it up. YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, Kick, which apparently is where people just go to jack off a lot. I'm for it. I think so. I'm for it. Kick was like, you know what? Whatever.
I remember that, like, when Kick started, you're like, dude, here's the link. You got to get on Kick, this, that, and your thing. And I'm like, it's going to be the next best thing. I never really.
So they started out. They started out paying people more.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, you said this.
Other things.
Yeah.
And then the whole site was inundated with just like chicks putting high heels up their pussies. And like, we can't compete with that.
Don't know. I'm not allowed on Twitter.
Also, like, if you met a girl, I sound like Cosby. If you
got what I need. Segue.
You just take this cup of coffee and you wake up with a sore ass.
Put it in pop and stick it right on her pussy.
Don't have a coat.
Gotta wear a fucking cardigan though.
No, but like if you're hanging out and you meet a girl that makes like let's say $100,000 a month, which is low on the
where you're going with this? Okay.
On the OnlyFans scale, right?
Is it?
Oh, dude. Well,
That's
I mean,
low?
I think like averages. Let's say she makes $17,000 a month on OnlyFans, and she just like she's called like Linda Utensil, and she just shoves butcher knives up her pussy. You're like,
what about spatulas?
Yeah, of course,
and stuff like that. You know,
pizza cutters,
cooking tongs. You
gotta go handle. Obviously, not blade. We're not creeps, dude. But
just for the danger aspect, you know.
Yeah, would you be like into that? I don't think I would.
Nope. I mean, I guess I gotta respect the hustle of people that have OnlyFans, and that during COVID, that was like strippers just went to that and got fucking paid. And I imagine there's a lot of people, a lot of housewives that were active on social media that when COVID hit, it gave them an opportunity to expand their horizons. And
sure.
I have a feeling you see a lot of women these days that took advantage of that, got an OnlyFans, you know, might have just sat there and, you know, talk sultry to the masses. I don't know how OnlyFans work. I don't know if it's recorded. I don't know if it's live. I don't know how that works.
I don't know how it works either.
Don't know. Don't care. But imagine that, you know, they set up an OnlyFans, and next thing you know, they're getting people to pay. It's a monthly subscription to?
Yes, I believe it is.
So each page you go to, you have to pay X dollars each month to watch that woman or man or whatever.
Yeah, but it's nominal, but there's a lot of people. So it's like $1 a month, $5 a month or something like that.
Okay,
and
so you're doing that. So these chicks are doing this shit, and it's like, okay, you know, I'm getting paid $2 a person that are gonna watch me bake a cake with my tits out.
Yeah.
Now, if I take off my pants and do it in a G-string, I can
you
pay
pay
$5 a month. If
yeah.
I take off all my clothes and smack my pussy with a spatula, I'm gonna get $11 a month.
Sure.
And I have a feeling a lot of that transcended towards porn.
Transitioned?
What did I say?
Transcended.
Transcended. Yeah. Transcending. Towards porn.
Yes.
And next thing you know, these housewives are doing videos with their husbands. And then next thing you know, there's
other dudes.
Mm-hmm. And then the BBC comes in, and now you're getting more and more money. And now these women are making fucking buku bucks. And at that point, you're like, how do you just stop when you're making that kind of money? I guess I've never been in that situation, not like OnlyFans or whatever, that I've been able to do something that comes natural and make that money where I would want to stop doing it.
Yeah, I think you need
like almost like an addiction at that point, right?
Yeah, I think you'd need an agreed upon exit plan. So let's say we hit, just low. Like let's say,
all right. So now we're leaving OnlyFans, but we're talking podcast here.
Sure.
Okay.
Honestly,
I was talking about. I was just talking.
Well, no. If I think let's go back to OnlyFans.
Okay.
You're in a couple. She's really hot. You're not as hot.
Yeah.
And she's doing shit and she's making money. And I think, Ortez is hanging out with my wife and my sister. And it's not incestual because they're both together and they're not related. So I don't know what's going to go on. But
there's nobody related there.
One of them's related to Slay. Sorry.
Later, Gooks.
And Rob. And canceled. But no, I think if you're a couple, you have an exit plan and you say, okay, when we get to X amount of dollars, maybe you need money to pay off a fucking car. Maybe you need money to pay off a house. You go, okay, when we get there, this is our bailout point.
Okay.
And then all of a sudden it becomes addicting.
Yeah, because all of a sudden, dude, imagine like
and
you said, you're making
rolling over. And then all of a sudden you're farting on a birthday cake and you don't know, the last time you talked to your mother. It happens.
Yeah, so you're at 17 grand a month in subscriptions to have these people, watch you bake a cake in a fucking thong or naked or whatever and rub frosting on your nipples. And that's 200 grand a year, dude.
Yeah.
Just to do that. And people just throwing money. I mean, I guess I've never been in this situation, nor will I ever subscribe for any of that shit.
Of course,
I used to go to strip clubs. Last time I was in a strip club was with you.
We always did it for the goof.
In the last 2 times we went to the strip club during COVID was for the goof. Krista didn't even know we went. I'm like, how did you not see my Ubers from Neighbors to the Colony?
Right.
She goes, what'd you guys do? I'm like, we got a bucket of beer, a $17 cigar. And we sat in the corner and bullshit with each other.
Yeah.
You guys want to dance? We're good.
Yeah.
Just smoking our cigars, talking shit until the bar closed because it was the only place that was open past 1 o'clock.
Yeah. And I've never been a strip club guy ever. I don't care about them.
I was back in my early 20s. Hang on. I got my propane tank just shit the bed.
Ooh. Yeah. So I do think with the OnlyFans stuff, like you reach a point where you're going to end up selling your soul. And I don't know how many couples, quote unquote, can actually make it past that point. Because sooner or later, you think it's a cool idea. And then all of a sudden you think that your partner is going to do you a favor. And then that favor turns into her hobby. Then the hobby turns into her job. And now she's making 200 grand a month and you're still an electrician.
Yeah.
And I've never had this thing of like when Tanya was making more money than me, I never cared at all. It was never like I'm the man of the house and whatever. Like, I'm not going to go, like when I started my first company, I'm not going to go and say, you need to not work your job where you're making 120 or so grand a year and you need to make less than the $20,000 I'm pulling in. What kind of asshole would I be?
Dude,
I've never been that way ever.
Chris and I were in it. It was actually funny. She just got her raise, her bonus, and everything. She basically makes twice what I make right now, and I make good money. And I make good money. So I'm so happy for her because she's worked her ass off to get where she is. But it was like we sat down one day. It was I don't know, a month or so ago. We were having a drink. We were just actually had time to catch up. We were talking, and I go, "Do you remember when we lived on Harlem Road like 10 years ago, 11 years ago?" And I made like $2,000 more than you did. And we were doing okay.
Yeah.
And I go, and then to watch you just climb that ladder and then just fucking rocket ship to where she is right now. And I'm so proud of everything she's accomplished in her job and her role. I don't know what she does. I honestly don't. Everybody, I'm like, she works for a bank. I'm like, but she doesn't fucking count money. She doesn't cash her checks.
Yeah, she's not a teller.
Yeah, like the fucking CEO of M&T Bank knows my wife by name, knows who she is and what she does. and she got put in this Rising Leaders program. Like 2 people get nominated. That's it in the
That's sick.
entire company, and she got chosen. So like in 2 weeks, she's like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I got dinners. I got this. I have to write stories in this web page and put them in there so they can talk about her at these meetings.
Oh shit.
And then like in April, she's got to go to Delaware for a week to be part of this program. And it's like, it sucks and all that, but all that's doing is pushing her fucking right up that ladder.
Yeah.
And she's been with her boss, her gay boss, who's an awesome guy. Every job he goes up the ladder, he waits a little while and then pulls Krista and a couple other people with him.
Yeah, awesome.
And it's just like, this is all they're fucking doing.
Well, and also too, like when you connect yourself to good people,
yeah,
that rising tide lifts all boats. It's just common practice. Like, and if you're lucky enough to be in a place where you work and you're not getting, it's not so cutthroat where if you drop the ball once, everyone just cuts you off.
Yeah.
Like, it's awesome to have that kind of situation too.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's I don't know those guys that are like, well, you know, I told her to quit her job because, you know, it was becoming a distraction or whatever. I'm like, well, dude, like you make 80 grand a year. If she's even making 40, but what happens if she's making 160?
Yeah,
that makes you guys better.
Exactly. And it was funny when like she told me the other day, she called me and she told me about her raise and with her bonus was fucking amazing and everything, what she technically will make. And I was immediately like, I can't wait to retire in 10 years. She goes, what? I go, I turned 62 and that first letter comes in the mail. She goes, you're not. She goes, and then she's so worried because she's 13 years younger than me. She's got another 13 years after I retire to work.
Yeah.
She goes, what are you going to do? I'm like, I'm not going to just sit on my ass. I go, I got a plan. Wintertime, I want to work for a car dealership or Home Depot 2-3 days a week.
Sure.
Keep busy. During the summer, I want to work at a golf course 2-3 days a week. And then during the summer, the other 2-3 days a week, I want to golf while you're at work. And I imagine if I'm working at a golf course,
that's a solid plan.
Yeah, it just to keep busy. I'm not just going to quit and glean off of you just because.
I think I'm going to work and then my heart's going to explode and then I'm going to die. And that's it.
Let's hope that's next week.
Just a slave to the machine, dude. The stress is palpable. It's killing me. But yeah, fuck it. It is what it is. I have no desire to travel. You know, like
I do, but I'm not like egregiously. I do want to go places. I wouldn't mind taking a nice week, 8 days vacation once a year. I wouldn't mind being able to do that.
Yeah. I'm not saying like I don't want to go to Europe for. I mean, I would like. So my kid came up to me like fucking 3 weeks ago, and she goes, "If you didn't have us, like."
Dude, I'd be balling, motherfuckers.
Yeah, what like if you didn't have kids, like what would you be doing? I was like, honestly, just spitballing here. It's not like I have it written in my pocket, and as I pull out this folded note of things I would be doing if I didn't. But like, I'd probably be living in fucking like Paris. If I was doing exactly what I'm doing right now, I'd live in some apartment in Paris. I'd go have wine. I would basically live the gayest life that a heterosexual guy could live. Have wine in the afternoon.
But the thing is, though, with your job, you could move to Italy and you know, buy a small house and do that as long as you have better. And you know, imagine the internet in Italy; it's probably way better than you got now. You know,
probably.
But that's the good thing about your job. You can move.
Yeah.
And you don't need to, you're not out doing like fucking, you know, yes, you do go out and meet some clients local. You come here, you have some, you meet some in Columbus on your way through. Mm-hmm. That's all well and good. But I mean, you don't have to do that.
No.
Everything you done is over the internet or through the phone. It is great. You could do that, you know?
Yeah. But 20 years ago, this job didn't exist.
No.
You know what I mean? So like, it's weird to have whatever talent I have and be able to do it. So it's great. But like, you know, but there's days, dude, like today was a fucking day and a half. And there's days where I am jealous of the guy that has to go down the government side of the road and like mow the grass. That's awesome. That guy gets to sit in a tractor, listen to podcasts, and he mows lawn.
Hopefully ours.
And that's amazing. But you know, my shit, it pays pretty good, so fuck it. Just keep it rolling. To me, it's a cash grab, and I just try to do the best job I can. But yeah, I've never been one of those guys that is just like, no, the woman needs to stay at home. Fuck all that. Fuck all that. I want Tanya to do as well as she can possibly do, and that's fantastic.
And that's
great.
You remember, just that's the way it used to be. The man was the breadwinner. The woman would stay at home and do all the chores and shit. Like, things have changed. I'm like, I've had people ask me before, how do you feel about your wife making more money than you? Doesn't bother me. I'm happy for my wife.
You know,
I'm very proud of her.
Of you because of that. It takes so much pressure off of you because of that too.
I can still go to work. I mean, I don't have a lot of work right now per se in my department, but I'm like, I can work overtime. I can close that gap, but I'm like, I'm never getting to where she is.
Oh, dude, I had a dream like a week ago where
if you see a huge flash and a loud boom, I'm dead.
Come on, sevens.
Cross your fingers, fuckface.
Come on, sevens. I had a dream she got fired. And we've joked about it a lot. Like, money's pretty good on my side, so whatever. And then we go to this event with her boss, and I was like, dude, and her boss is amazing. And I go, I had a dream that Tanya got fired. And she goes, I would never fire Tanya. And Tanya goes, he said it was a nightmare. I thought it was pretty awesome. I'm like, you probably shouldn't say that to your boss. And the boss and her are laughing and shit. And then I'm like, if you do fire her, you know she's moving to Buffalo. Because once I have 100% control, we're out of this bitch.
Tanya's like, don't ever fire.
Yeah, Tanya's like,
I don't want to go to Buffalo.
You're not allowed to fire me. When he dies, you can fire me.
I thought it'd be cool down here. Like, the fucking propane heater went out. I got my little electric one here. I'm looking down. It's like 64. I'm like, all right, just let it go for a bit. 4 minutes later, I'm like, it's fucking cold already. I'm watching the temperature and this thing just go. I'm like, hopefully I don't blow us up.
Yeah, I work downstairs, and I have like a little, like those fake radiator electric heaters.
Oh yeah.
So I turn that on. My legs are steaming hot, but my hands are still freezing to death. You know, so I got I'm on a Zoom call and I'm like warming my hands like I'm fucking dying.
Yeah, all they see is like from your chest down. They can just see your arms moving. You're like, sir, are you masturbating?
Yeah, I'm in a hovel in fucking Hell's Kitchen, New York. In fucking
where are you in?
A hovel, Hovel. It's a word, bro.
That's okay, but I've never heard it, so I'm trying to educate myself.
A hovel, I believe, is like some sort of like homeless encampment. I believe
a small, squalid, unpleasant, or simply constructed dwelling.
Boom.
Maybe I have heard it before. Okay,
yeah.
If I have it, it's been a while. Well done, sir.
Thank you. But I'm like, that's what it feels like. I go upstairs sometimes. I'm like, oh my god, it's so hot. It's like 68 degrees upstairs, which means it's like fucking. I'm working in like 57-degree temperatures most of the time. My hands are purple, bro. Yeah. and I'm like running. So I don't know. I've been thinking about like getting assets more now.
Yeah. You know? That's one thing too, is like even what Chris has said. She goes, all right. She goes, we have to sit down. She goes, end of February, we got to sit down, because me being over 50, I can like dump even more money into my 401k now.
Yeah.
Because allegedly I'm on the downslide of whatever. Yeah. So they're like, yeah, fire more money in here. We don't care. So she's like, we need to max that out because my work's still fucking throwing a shit ton at me.
Of course.
So like, at that point, I'm like, why are we not? And it's like, I see what I make and I do the math, and you got your, what is it? What is your overall pay? Your net or your gross? Gross, and then your net is after taxes, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So I see my gross pay. I was like, all right, sick. Then I see my net pay. I'm like, not cool.
Right.
But it's like, I'm carrying the insurance. I'm dumping max into the 401k. I got all this other shit going where, none of this is coming out of Chris's fucking gigantic paycheck. So sometimes when I look at mine, I'm like, I feel a little sad about it, but I'm like, I'm also pulling out, thousands of dollars of taxes and fucking insurance all the time. So I get it, but I'm like, that means her entire paycheck is going into the bank account for bills and things can get paid off quicker and yada, yada, yada. So like I said, I'm proud of her. I'm very happy. I'm excited for her.
Yeah. I mean, what else are you going to do?
Yeah. Like I said, I've never been that jealous type. And I knew from day one when we got together and we were in it for the long haul. She's in the banking world. I know I'm in a warehouse world. I'm a laborer. I'm like, I can still make decent dollar, but I mean, she's going to always make way more. And like, oh, how do you feel about that? I'm like, I don't fucking care. Good for her.
I feel bad for the guys that actually think like that.
Yeah, I feel bad for them too. I'm like, how bad are you that fragile that you think this is back in the 50s and 60s when the man has to be the breadwinner? No, dude.
And also, like, if you have a chick that stays at home, and we've all been alone with our kids,
I want to kill them and myself.
Yeah, and you kind of make believe that there's some like matronly gene that clicks on and they're better with kids than we are, and maybe they are a little bit, but it's not fucking 90-10. It's fucking like 60-40 at best. So still they're going insane.
Yeah,
they're going crazy, and then they end up stabbing you with a steak knife in your sleep. It's just the way it is.
It happens. Are we live? Why can't I get this to come up?
Maybe because of the blatant racism and sexism. But that could be it.
Yeah. So, we spent the first hour. Oh, there we go. All right, we're back. I got the thing in front of me. Talking about our Baltimore trip, and we have all these topics that we were going to discuss.
All right, so hit me.
We got to one of them.
Go. Hit me. Topic. Go.
Buffalo Bills choking.
Phil, what's up?
What's up, Phil? I'll tell you one thing, dude. I was sitting there at work talking to a dude. We were having a good laugh about the Bills losing in the fashion that they lost.
Sure.
And I told you this. I just set my phone up. I just looked something up. I just set my phone down. And all of a sudden at the top, the little red box lit up when I got a phone call coming in. And it was said Chris Baumgarten. And I'm like, it's 12:05 my time. I go, he's not replying to any of my text. I go, I know you're in bad shape. And I'm like, dude, I got to take this. I answer the phone and it's your fucking wife.
Yeah.
And that was the funniest fucking conversation I had. And then I hear you in the background and I'm like, dude, he is fucking loaded.
Yeah. I was legit.
She's like, how do you make him happy? I'm like, just tell him he's handsome. Give him a hug. Show him your boobs. Give him some bourbon. Just whatever. You're just like, I'm like, bro, just.
It was bad.
I'm going to let you go. But yeah. Interesting.
Yeah, I think it was a prime example of what I've said for the longest time. Andy Reid is the greatest offensive call player of probably all time. And then you partner Andy Reid with Spags, which is probably the greatest situational defensive play call.
I'll tell you.
I would say Belichick would get him better on scheme and game planning in general, but Spags has this weird ability to go
adjust on the fly.
We've never had a corner blitz all year, and we're going to do this. And
dude, you see this. You see those defenses gamble at times, and quarterbacks make them pay. Even the announcers that game, was it Nance and Romo?
Yeah.
They couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
They're like, Romo was like, they're going to come to the line. They're going to drop out of this blitz. You know, they're doing whatever. And then all of a sudden, that fucking corner just comes in untouched. And you could hear it in Romo's voice. He's like, I didn't see that coming.
Yep.
Spagnuolo dialed up the absolute perfect
and he did it
call.
twice against Brady.
Yes.
With, against the Giants. Like and I think I said this fucking last year.
What a brilliant football mind that guy is.
Yeah. And you have these two guys, and it's not game plan centric because Andy Reid sometimes goes in with a shitty plan.
Yeah.
But he has these fucking money plays, and Spags has these money plays. Allen, typically when he gets rushed, he likes to go to the right-hand side. You get a situation where the ball is more towards the right hash than the left hash. It's not in the middle, so it's a little bit more towards the right hash. And you dial up a corner blitz from Allen's right-hand side so he can't go flush right.
Yeah.
It's fucking genius. And the other thing that I liked about that play, and I kept telling Miles, Miles isn't necessarily a football guy, but I think he enjoys watching football.
Sure.
But he doesn't know football. So I kept saying, well, you always want to throw at the blitz. So even the wide receiver that was out to the right, I forgot who it was.
Yeah.
That guy didn't identify the corner blitz because then that guy becomes the hot. So
because by the time he was 3 steps into his route, that blitz is already by him. He doesn't see it.
Yeah. So if you're playing, and again, these guys know more about football than I ever will, but from a general guy that knows some shit about football, if I'm lined up against you face up and you blitz and I'm supposed to go fucking run a 9, I'm supposed to go fucking run 40 yards down the field, I have to cut that short because I want the quarterback to throw at the blitz. That didn't happen.
No.
So Allen still rolled out to his right, which he always does. And then he threw a fucking, to me, it was a fucking Hail Mary throw, but it ended up bouncing off the fucking guy's arms.
That was that ball it went straight up. It wasn't on an arc. That ball.
Oh no, it was fluttering.
Drilled.
Yeah. But I mean, I always I say this about workers. I tell this to my kids all the time when we're going into their seasons and shit. What?
I'm trying to find the podcast on my phone so I can see the comments, but
oh yeah,
I'm back to having that issue again.
I checked out your stream. It looks great. I saw you're working towards affiliate status on Kick. That's awesome. If you want to grow your audience, I'm happy to help. Thanks, Juan Pablo 54 boring titty. Go ahead.
Let's go back to the badass bitches one.
Yeah, no kidding. But yeah, so I think situationally in games like that where it's going to be a fucking toss up going into the fourth quarter, who's going to be ahead? Like the Chiefs are never going to be ahead by 50. Bills are never going to be ahead by 50. It comes down to those nuanced, weird plays. And how the fuck are you ever going to bet against Andy Reid? The Bills all year are a zone team. All year. That's what they do. They play zone. Their best cornerback goes out. They put in this guy that they drafted ahead of that guy, Beathard or whatever the guy's name is. Then they bring in Elam, who can't cover a fucking anything, right? So I couldn't even think of an analogy. So annoying. But he wants you to grow his members, not his. Oh, yeah, I'm in. So why they still ran man down their best cornerback? You have to change your game plan immediately. You just have to, and they didn't. So
no.
The writing was on the wall. Outside of some miraculous thing where the ball bounces the right way, there was some shitty spots in that game.
I got lambasted like it's not like you even watch football. You don't even know the game. This everything, motherfucker. I watch football. I watch it unbiased because the NFL isn't my bag. I'm a college football guy. I'm a Green Bay Packers fan. I don't watch the Packers games with that much enthusiasm. I root for them to win. They don't win. Yeah. I'm not invested in the NFL like a lot of you guys are, and that's fine. That's your team. You got all your eggs in that basket. College football is my gig. Mm-hmm. Whatever. So I came home from hockey, ate dinner, went to bed. Like literally minutes before they kicked off that game. I woke up at 8:30, 8:45, getting ready to go to work. I walked out to watch the Bills score just before halftime, I think. The Mac Hollins touchdown. That was just before halftime, right?
Yes. Yep.
Okay. I saw that. I got my truck. I drove to work. Guy I work with was watching the game on his phone. I could not get the stream to load on either one of my phones. I have a phone at work that I watch Netflix on, my old phone, and I have my new phone. I couldn't catch the stream because there was too many people watching it, I guess.
Sure.
So I got frustrated. I started working, and all of a sudden I hear him getting excited. So I walk over to him, and we watched the last 4 minutes. I watched the last 4 minutes of the game. So the egregious spots, the egregious calls, and everything up to those last 4 minutes, I did not see.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm not going to speak on it. I will speak. Dude, I'll tell you this. My wife and I talked about it Monday night while she was making dinner in the kitchen. We were talking the worthy catch or non-catch. Me being not a Bills fan, I'm obviously rooting for that to be a catch by all sense of the mean, whatever. But I watched it, and by rule,
it should have been an incomplete pass.
if it wasn't by rule in my eyes, from what I saw, and I'm going to explain this in 1 second, that was a catch. If it wasn't a catch, it was an incomplete pass, there was still pass interference, and they were getting the ball at the 24-yard line.
There's no flag.
Regardless, there was. Anyhow, so a 50-50 ball goes to the offense. Just like in baseball, tie goes to the runner, right?
Mm-hmm.
During the process of a catch, a ball can touch the ground. It cannot move.
If it's possessed.
It was possessed by both players at that time. Both players had a hand on each end of the ball. That ball came down point first, came right back up. It never moved this way. It never moved this way. It didn't go this way. It touched. It came back up. That's me in my eyes watching that objectively by the rule that's stating a 50-50 ball goes to the offense and a ball can touch the ground. It cannot move though. It cannot aid in the process of a catch, which I don't think it did, because once that ball touched the ground and they rolled over, the possession never changed. At that point, neither one of them would wrest that ball away from each other.
The thing that's really fucked up is if one guy has two hands on a ball, or chest and one hand, so it's clamped to the guy, right?
He's got it here.
Yeah, he had it here,
like
right?
Bracing for fall. Yeah,
and so technically, in the air, one would assume that it's possessed by the defensive player, because dude was up like this. Other guy, Bills player, had it like basically here, right? Like clamped here, right? And they fall. So he has full possession in the air, right? This is where, this is what I saw when I saw that play. He has full possession in the air. When they land, the ball comes down, and the ball wasn't flopping around. He basically clamped it, right?
Yeah, that thing wasn't moving between the two of them. It was not moving.
And the other dude has his hand up through here, right? So Bill's player has hand,
the ball,
chest. Other player has his hand through, right?
And then he's got to hold on the other end. Okay.
So when it comes to possession, if you possess it in the air, you have it clamped, and then you land on the ground, and you have possession as a defensive player or even offensive player, right? You have possession. Your knees are down. You have possession.
Or whatever part of your body deems a catch that you're down. Your butt, your thigh, your elbow. The ground. Yep.
Then the ball touches the ground. And then, because of, what's that thing where you fucking hit and bounce a little bit, like inertia or whatever?
Let's just call it that.
Sure. The ball ends up, then the other guy kind of sneaks his hands through, you would go. To me, it was either an incomplete or it's an interception or whatever penalty. I remember seeing a flag on that play.
They did say there was a penalty. It would have been
Holding,
pass
probably.
interference, something like that.
Yeah.
Whatever it was going to give the Casey the ball at the 24 instead of wherever the fuck that was inside
the
the
7 or some shit.
Okay.
Yeah. But that was weird. Taking that play aside, which, you know, I heard somebody say, I think they should do away with like the phrase how it was called.
Yes, because this was I was waiting for you to get through your argument there, and then I was going to say this. That was ruled a catch on the field.
Yes.
So according to the next step,
if it's too close,
it stays.
It goes that way. Yeah. So,
and I think that's what they ended up with. I mean, just
yeah. But with all the technology that we have now, so now there's like, it's not just the refs on the field. There's an eye in the sky type of ref too, right?
Replay assist.
Yes. So why not do away with as it was called in those weird type of plays?
Well, they have to make that. They have to make that call.
They have to call it that way. But like, why not? Why when it's that close? And I'm not even saying for the Bills. This happens all the time in every fucking NFL game. It just does. It's not like the refs are amazing all season and then magically when the Bills play the Chiefs, the refs are fucking shit. The refs are fucking horrible the entire year.
So this year is probably the first year, and as much as I've been watching football, they were fucking straight trash in all 16 games from week 1.
Yeah.
They were bad all year.
So why, if you have this eye in the sky or whatever the fuck it's called,
replace this.
Why not just say we're going to review the play?
I'm not going to watch this anymore. I don't give a fuck.
As it is from
too much butt hair.
Oh shit. So bush. So I just hate that part. But take it a step further, okay? If you go back and look, and this is a non-consequential play. However, I want you to imagine it's hard to get a yard in football. You would probably agree on that, right? It's hard to get 1 yard.
Did you ever see the Facebook post? They're like, you sitting in your basement right now, get in an NFL game for $1 million. You have 4 downs to get 10 yards as a running back. Can you do it?
There's no way.
Yeah.
No, there's no way.
Isn't it? It's insane.
Yeah. So it's hard to get 1 yard, right? 100%. Unless you're Andy Reid and go, they've been playing man all day, so we're going to run this running back here and just put him out here, and then he's going to catch a ball and run 15 fucking yards. Whatever, right? There was a play that Amari Cooper caught a ball.
In this game?
Yes. Yeah.
Like I told you, I saw the last 4 minutes.
Okay.
So
he's running up the sideline, and he's coming to the point where the first down's about here. And he goes out of bounds after the first down, and they marked it here. He didn't step out of bounds. He went out of bounds after the first down marker, and they still marked it a 3rd and 1. There's a few other plays. James Cook, his entire torso with a ball before his knee touches is over the first down yard line, and they mark it as a 2nd and 9. If you do that enough times, and I'm not saying there's the fucking hits out on the Bills and the Chiefs and Taylor Swift. I don't subscribe to that stuff. But it's so habitually wrong in the NFL in general that those plays, when you're a bad schemed team going against a well-schemed team with one of the best coaches of all time, which one of the best defensive schemers of all time, and the team that's also been there 7 years in a row that knows all the bells and all the fucking whistles, those nominal calls are really fucked.
And that team is at home. We all know how home cooking goes. Home teams are going to get a little bit more of a call.
Well, there's a reason if you're an underdog at home, you're actually plus 2.5.
Yeah.
Because Vegas is saying, even though the other team that's coming into your field is better than you, we're still going to give you plus 2.5 because 4 points will probably go in the other direction.
Yeah.
Because of calls, because of like the fans getting on refs and all that kind of shit. some guy falls down mid-run. This didn't happen in the game, but like some guy falls down mid-route and the ball hits the ground and the guy does this and all the fans go crazy. And then magically you see some fucking flag come in. This happens in the NFL non-fucking stop.
Relentlessly, dude. Relentlessly.
It's, I mean, how many times, even you watching the fucking Packers, right?
Yeah.
You're watching the Packers game. There's an incomplete pass. There's no contact. Wide receiver is on the ground. And he does this. And you are just waiting, even when the flag doesn't even come.
Huh.
You're waiting to see the fucking yellow come in. We've been conditioned like Pavlovian fucking pit bulls to wait.
Nice reference.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
To wait for that fucking yellow flag to come in. And you can't tell me that referees can't dictate the pace of the game, the flow of the game, the strategy of the game. You can't tell me that.
I got 2 quick points to make about this. We can move on. All right. So
number one, point
number 1. The Bills do not have a tush push. And I've said this. They line up, they bunch that formation, they get a running back 1 or 2 behind Allen.
Yeah, for some reason he was going straight up in that game and
he was
left every time.
That's all he does. Watch every game. He doesn't go right.
Right.
So here's the Bills tush push. Allen drops his left foot back. You know it's coming.
Mm-hmm.
Under center, gets the ball, waits a half a second, takes 2 steps left, and tries to plow through.
Yep.
Then he has James Cook.
Yeah.
Allen turns his back to the pile. James Cook pushes him.
Was that man?
Okay. That is the Bills push.
You ain't black.
Allen has never gone up center, dead nut straight, or to the right all year. Spagnola knew this.
Yep.
Romo pointed out, he goes, watch them fill this C gap every fucking time. He's got nowhere to go. They kept doing it. Kept getting stuffed. Watch Philly do the tush push. Hurts under center.
Hurts is like 6 inches shorter than Josh Allen, too, by the way.
That's phenomenal. Who does Hurts have behind him? 2 monster tight ends or an extra lineman pushing. The Bills have fucking James Cook, who a stiff breeze could probably blow over. Pushing he's 6'5", 240 Allen. What are you doing here?
James Cook is lighter than me.
What are you doing here? You're doing it completely wrong.
Yeah. That's where I think like everyone wants to like it's one thing to I don't want to not harp on the fact that there were some easy calls to make.
All right.
That were non-consequential during the game. A wide receiver catches a pass over the middle. He's kind of like spinning over. His full torso with the ball before his knees touches are over the first down yard line because it's painted in laser fucking yellow.
That line is not official, bro. You should know that of all people.
It's the marker. It's marked where the fucking
they say it every game. The yellow line is not official. That is for our entertainment purposes only, bro. That's it.
Okay, so
when I think when they go to replay assist or replay booth or whatever, there's no yellow line on the field.
I like Eye in the Sky better, but go ahead.
Sure, okay. Well, I was using technical terms, man.
So, but why mark it where the guy's knees were during the play versus where the ball was during the play before the guy's knees touched?
Don't they have to do
that
both?
That happens. No, so
because if you reach out and you're stretching and your knees hit, they mark it where that ball is right there. They don't mark it where your knees are. They're supposed to mark it where the ball is.
That's what I'm saying.
Right?
If you go back, and this is not just a Bills thing, throughout the year, there's been some guys where their knee is almost down and they mark it where the ball is. Then there's sometimes where a lot of officials go, all right, the ball was here, his knees were here, we're going to 50-50 it.
Okay, yeah.
And it's not the same from down to down, from game to game, from anything to anything. And this is the most profitable sports league the world's ever seen.
True.
And you're literally letting these fucking idiots police the game willy-nilly every fucking week, let alone championship. Like, And I feel bad for people that are Chiefs fans because almost like when the Patriots were fucking just blowing people out, at least the Patriots were like, there was always a fumble that happened that seemed to go the Patriots' way. There was always an extra little weird corner in the rule book that Bill Belichick figured out. You know what I mean?
I'm pretty sure him and Brady were two of the best studies of the NFL rule book ever.
Yeah, you're doing. Yeah, okay. So,
okay. Yeah, I mean, he's got a point. Fat Boy's got a point.
He is. He's right.
London.
But like,
appreciate you.
But even in football, like this flopping shit that makes no goddamn sense. Like, I think football has to do something with that shit too, because it makes it almost unwatchable when some guy doesn't even get hit and he's writhing around in pain, and then 2 minutes later he's sprinting a fucking 8-second 40. Fuck all that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, we got to call the challenge flag on that. Eye in the sky.
So we talked about this today at poker. In baseball, each ump, every game is graded. And they use that AI system.
Yeah.
And they do the balls and strikes compared to what the computer says, compared with the ump says, and making all the calls, and they get a grade. As the playoffs go on, those guys with the best grades get to do the championship, and then they get to do the World Series games. And I said, is it the same in football? And they said, absolutely not.
No.
And I said, you want to know something? It's funny because they're like, hey, these are the 7 refs in the Super Bowl. One guy's done 4 Super Bowls. The other ones are like first or second year. So I'm like, why don't you have this grading system? Why don't you have the best of the best in there? That's great. You run an 800-second 40. That's what I got out of that.
Yeah, I think it's 0 button.
So here's the next thing I have to do, and then we can move on from the Bills. That fourth down with Allen.
Irate to me. Hold on. Is you're gloating?
I'm not, dude. I'm bringing up talking points because I want to see the other side. I watch it objectively. You watch it objectively. Also, you have you have an interest in this.
Yes.
So
I do think I'm pretty goddamn objective when it comes to a lot of things.
You do. I do enjoy talking sports. You know a little bit more about football than I do, and I appreciate that. And it's fun to talk to you because there's sometimes that you enlighten me on something I don't know much about. I also want to just ram this down your throat, but I'm not going to because I'm your best friend and I love you. And you remember our phone call on Sunday night, how nice I was to you. And I tried to get your wife to do all sorts of you shouldn't. The way you sounded, you probably don't remember talking.
I was a fucking problem.
So here's the thing. That third down with Kincaid, that 3rd and 5, that was one of the situations we were just talked about, where your knees were, where the ball was.
Weird spot.
Yep. All right. So that's off the table. It is now 4th and in a foot. They run that same play with Allen.
Yep.
Bad fucking call. Whatever. Allen gets into that pile. Now here we have a massive humanity. Allen's 6'5". Yep. All these defensive linemen are well over 6 foot tall, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you have 20 of them jammed up, right?
Mm-hmm.
Roughly around the ball. Who's looking into that pile? A 5'10" ref that's 50 years old?
Yeah. Yeah. And
so now let me finish this.
Yeah.
So now you have this pile of humanity and you're not seeing the ball because it's held into your gut. So at 6'5", it's down here. You are in a pile. You have 2 refs, 1 on each side, looking in and trying to figure out where that ball is, who can't see over this pile or into it because
that
you're shorter than everybody.
That's most egregious mistakes that a league has in general whatsoever.
And maybe it
happens 2 or 3 times a year where it's like that close. And you could.
This is magnified because it's the AFC Championship. If this happened in week 2, we're going to bitch about it for a minute and then we're going to move on.
But still, like, tennis has the ability to do video markers and whatever. But
do you think if I and I said this to a buddy of mine on one of his posts. I'm like, if you're gonna do this with the ball, you have to have the laser markers in the sticks.
Which they do, yeah.
They have a pylon with a camera right now, right?
Mhm.
That they keep moving now. That was an upgrade. In the football, you can't just throw a fucking GPS chip in there. You have to have it at both ends.
Point to point.
I believe.
Mhm.
And one should be red, one should be green. You know, they
Sure.
should be different. So if you're reading it and you can see that ball's either sideways, so the ball just goes there.
Yeah.
If you know the point's going this way,
it's different than tennis for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah,
so I'm like, if that's the way you're gonna do it,
Yeah.
I believe you should somehow find a way
If we can put a fucking robot that jacks off on Mars, we should be able to figure out how to fucking use technology to accurately spot a ball.
Yeah. Like I said, I think football is like antiquated. I mean, we all talk about baseball, and they're almost going to do away with the home plate umpire. I mean, he's going to be there. He's not going to do anything. He'll call out a runner coming home, a play at the plate. And that's it. But balls and strikes are eventually going to be called by the computer because they are so fucking dead on with it now. They got that down to a science. It's incredible. And I'm not a huge baseball guy, but I was like, they are fucking taking steps to actually make this game a little bit
And
better.
historically, umps behind the plate are terrible at calling balls and strikes.
Yeah. Dude,
They're
but
terrible at it.
here's the other thing, too. And it was funny because after all the bitching, when the clock struck 0 of the Ravens game, the fucking it's us against the refs started, and I've had to deal with it for 10 days.
Mhm.
I gave everybody a 24-hour period Monday, and then I just kind of let it go till Tuesday. And I said, Wednesday, anybody starts this shit in with the refs, I'm dropping a hammer. I got enough memes. I got enough shit to say. Fuck you. Stop whining about it. It's over and done with. Move on with your fucking life.
I don't think that people that are complaining about the refs, I think people complaining about the refs when it's Chiefs and Bills is the wrong place to attack it. I think people should be complaining about the refs league-wise because this has been a problem from fucking Jump Street.
It has been, and we just
they're only getting worse.
Here's the other thing. Somebody made a good point. They're like, okay, you're sitting on your couch. You played high school football. That was it.
Mhm.
Here's what we're gonna do. You're gonna ref a game.
Yeah, right.
You're gonna get put in there and have to make a split-second decision on what you think you saw versus what you saw. And if you're wrong, you get thrown in a fucking lion's den.
No, so
how are you going to handle that? Oh, Jesus Christ. Here's London. London. He's such a bitch. He will not fucking. He's been a Patriots fan. We all know this, right? He shits on the Bills.
Yeah.
He shits on the Bills like I do. Yeah, when the Bills start winning, he's like, well, Bills Mafia, I'm with you. I'm rooting for you. Fuck you, dude. Pick a side. You're either for the Mafia or against them. I'm against them. But I will openly tell you if I think they got screwed. And there was some shit that happened on Sunday that I saw after the fact. Again, I didn't watch the game.
Oh boy. So let's say again, going back to my it's hard to get a yard, right? Yes. Go back. There was 3 or 4 plays where the Bills ended up getting the first down for the most part, other than that weird 4th down. Side conversation. Why not, instead of this tush push, I kept going, go 5 wide, spread everybody the fuck out, and then run Allen up.
Yes. Move. You're literally telling everybody we're doing this. And all of a sudden you have 11 in the box. Like you said, why not spread some people out, get some people moving?
These bullshit 2-point conversions that they missed, which they would have won the game. It's all situational, but there would have been enough points to win the game. You have this guy that can literally jump from the 5-yard line and spread his fucking eagle wings with his huge fat cock and get over the fucking goal line. Like, why not go 5 wide, spread everybody the fuck out? And at worst, if you don't run the fucking thing, because it's not like linemen can go too far down the field where they're going to be called like a.
I hate that. Ineligible man outfield. I hate that fucking penalty.
And that to me, look at college. Some guys on a screen are literally 7 yards downfield. In the NFL, they can be
Dude,
2 yards downfield, I
Yeah.
believe, from the line of scrimmage.
One
1 yard.
They'll give them a little bit of leeway if they're not engaged.
And it's never consistent.
No,
Ever.
and here's the thing: is you imagine being a lineman, and your job is pushing forward and don't get too far downfield, and you're making your block and it carries you downfield a little bit because you got the guy backpedaling,
right?
And the quarterback gets a call and they call an RPO. You're fucked.
Yeah.
You don't know when the quarterback puts it in the running back's belly if he's pulling it.
Yeah, and
You have
also
no idea, and you're still blocking. And next thing you know, the flags come out. You're like, what the fuck? I hate that. It's got to be egregious. I think it's got to be egregious. You can't give them a 1 yard window. It's 3
also,
fucking
if
feet. It's one step.
if there's a weird blitz that you weren't counting on where the quarterback has to hold it just a second longer.
Yeah.
So in your head, if you're running a screen, you're like, here, phantom block, 2, 3, go.
You have that clock.
Pause an extra second. You're already 2 yards downfield.
Yeah.
Because you're 6'9".
It's one stop, dude. It's one stop.
It's stupid easy. Yeah.
And that's the thing is, like, it's all timing. And all that runs on time. Like when we sit there and hear about it with wide receivers all the time, before they get into their break, they turn the balls there. Yes, because they know 1, 2, 3. I ran 12 yards. I turn the balls right here. I have to catch it.
Sure.
Same thing with linemen. They're like, we have 3 seconds and the ball's gone, right? Well, next thing you know, he's scrambling. Next thing you know, you got your block backpedaling and you push him a little farther.
Yeah.
Whoop,
yep.
Eligible man downfield. It's like, what? Why?
At least with a receiver, if you get into your route and it's not there, because he's scrambling, you can move and reset your route.
Yeah.
Or you can move and follow the quarterback. Like you can do some things to get there. But no, I think the NFL has an officiating problem. It's not an officiating problem when the Bills play the Chiefs. It's an officiating fucking problem nonstop. But fuck, dude. Like, and when you're undercoached team, like I believe the Bills were, and I don't think necessarily that the Chiefs are more talented, like roster wise.
I do. The Bills don't have a Kelsey. They don't have a Mahomes, or they don't have Mahomes. They fucked up.
And
everybody can look at
early.
They can look at hindsight being 2020. They should have went after Worthy. Instead, they went after Coleman. Worthy statistically had a better year.
Mm-hmm.
And the first game against the Bills in week 11, they went to Worthy like crazy in the first half, and then the second half they didn't go after him at all. They didn't go to him at all. It's like, why not? I'm like, there's nobody on that Bills defense that's catching that guy. Heart attack, fucking Hamlin. Now all of a sudden he's wearing a Guardian cap. It's like, dude, he has no business being back there. What the fuck is he doing?
Get the fuck out, dude.
I'm fucking. The Bills defense is small, slow, and they don't.
Dude, there was. I don't know if it was Worthy or not, but Worthy was coming from left to right and did some stutter step, and Elam fell
down. He's just like he got sniped.
22 yards. Yeah, it wasn't like it was like a Joe Biden up the stairs going into Air Force One type of fall. And you're like, and you were a first round pick?
Yeah. They were really high on him when they drafted him.
Yeah. And they drafted Benford in the fucking 5th round.
Yeah.
And Benford's been a starter for 4 years. Elam's been coach's decision for 4 fucking years.
All right. One more question.
Don't go on Bills draft. Okay, go ahead.
Oh, I was going to ask you, what do you think the big need is in the draft?
Oh,
that's all. Just, I mean, obviously it's got to be on the defensive side of the ball because the whole everybody eats thing and wide receiver by committee
kind of worked.
It kind of worked this year, but how long can they get away with that without having a number 1 receiver?
Here's what's really fucked. Benford is going to be a free agent. One of the linebackers that's awesome.
Chiefs.
Free agent.
Milano?
No, he signed for a few years, but there's some guys that are going into their last season that they should probably restructure to find some money. But I would say safety, paramount, figure it out.
Huge, right? That's a big need there.
And honestly, Shakir, I believe, is on his last
rookie contract.
Yeah, I think we're going into his 4th year. I would either lock him up or say, fuck it, we actually need to go and take our first. They have a first round pick and they have 2 seconds. I would batch those bitches up and go get the best receiver in the draft.
Which is
And then
Travis
say,
Hunter.
and then say,
And he's
let's
going number
hope.
1 overall.
Well, no, there's some people out there that are legit, but or maybe package first and second, try to get in the top 15, which they could do.
They're at 30, right?
Yeah. So like points wise, you could probably get in the top 15, 17 picks, and maybe you get the second or third wide receiver there, which is still be an actual
be good
wide receiver 1.
Yeah.
Could you find somebody else like Shakir? Probably not. The guy's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
But like, when was Cooper Kupp drafted? You know what I mean? Like, you can find those shifty ass guys that can do that shit. You need a bona fide X. But and the other thing is take a second round pick. I mean, safety is fucking terrible.
So their main
I wanted to do
is defense,
Eagles
right?
Cooper DeJean.
Oh yeah, out of Iowa. I hated playing against him.
He was so good. With that fucking guy.
Yeah, he was so fucking good. It was fun.
Find another safety in the last maybe 15 years.
He's a white.
That was that other than like Hunter that got drafted by the Vikings.
Yeah.
You can't find another guy in the last maybe at 15 would be rude because maybe Ed Reed would have some rollover there. But
yeah.
Find another collegiate safety that was that fucking crazy and that like all over the ball at all times.
Dude,
the guy
everywhere.
He's everywhere.
There isn't a time that somebody's getting tackled that he's either not in on it or right there.
And Cole Bishop is like retard like Cooper DeJean. So could he learn to play? But you just don't have that. Cooper DeJean has like fucking black guy vibes, and he's white as fuck. Yeah. We drafted the wrong white. That's all it.
No white.
But yeah, we surrendered our first round pick for second this year, and we moved up a little bit. So
I think defense.
I said we.
You ain't black.
I immediately regret this decision.
So defense is definitely. I mean, we can agree on that, right?
Yes.
All right.
I would love a fucking badass young defensive tackle to go that's heavier than Ed Oliver to be a fucking bull in a china shop. Ed Oliver's too small.
Literally hope that Mason Graham and Kenneth Grant are both fucking gone before the Bills even think about it. Dude. I don't want either one of those guys coming here and wasting their fucking career in Buffalo.
When's the last time that Michigan actually had a defensive lineman that did anything other than Hutch?
What? Won a national championship?
No.
Hutch was an edge. Mason Graham and Kenneth Grant are two of the most disruptive defensive linemen you will ever see. They're both top 15 draft picks this year.
Yeah, and when's the last time that Michigan actually had a defensive tackle that did anything? It's been a long time.
David Ojabo, Aiden Hutchinson, Chase Winovich.
Hutchinson's edge. Winovich, edge.
Yeah. Kenneth Grant and Mason Graham are both DTs right up the middle.
Okay.
And they're fucking animals. And I hope they never come to Buffalo.
I hope they both do.
Dude,
we draft all 4 of them.
The best part is Buffalo just does not draft Michigan players ever. I think the last person they drafted was Reggie in the 70s. He was a first round draft pick for the Bills. Reggie, number 72, 73. The fuck was his name?
You want me to know a guy that was drafted from Michigan in the 70s to the Bills?
He was a very well-known player. He did very well for the Bills. Fuck.
Coleman?
What was his name? No.
Was it
Reggie Miller? Reggie Jackson.
Reggie Jackson? The most.
I just spelled Reggie REGFH.
Hey, what's that black guy's name that we met? It's probably Reggie Jackson. Dude, did his dad own a garbage dump? Bump, 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 bump. Bump, 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 bump.
Fuck. Dude.
Get over yourself.
Well, the thing was, when I was gonna start a collection of football helmets, I was gonna collect all 32 teams, and each team, the most notable Michigan player that ever played for them. And I got to the Bills, and I was like, "Fuck!" I'm like, come on. And it was way back in the fucking 70s.
Yeah.
And he was a big time lineman for the Bills. And I cannot fucking remember his name. You'll know it if you hear it.
DeLamalure.
No, that's
Fuck.
Joe.
Fred Smurless.
No. I could have swore his name is Reggie. I can't read any of this.
Reggie Jackson.
I want to say it was 1972 or 73.
In any regard, Michigan's known for...
Oh, Reggie McKenzie.
Easy. I knew it. Michigan's known for one quarterback.
Tom Brady. Thanks, Phil.
Got it.
He jumped in just as we got it. Yep. I told you you'd know the name.
Reggie McKenzie. Fuck Daryl's mom in the ass. On video, and Bob Saget gave Reggie's family $10,000 because Judy shit on Reggie's dick. The end. Anyway, I got the ball down to Reggie McKenzie. Reggie McKenzie get double. I'll pass it back up. All right, we got to end this.
What's that?
I'm going to go to another bar.
Of course you are.
Yeah, dude, I'm a barfly.
All right. So we touched on one topic. I added the Bills.
No, two. We did the football thing.
Well, that was the one. I just added the Bills thing at the last minute. I'm like, we have the
yeah.
Pro Bowl driving through St. Louis, planes crashing, Justin Tucker getting fucking rubbing tugs, Trump swinging his fat orange dick.
How many times? Okay, real quick.
Sure.
How many times do you actually believe that these guys that go to a rub and tug actually act inappropriately? I would say 50-50.
I think it's way less than that.
Do you think Justin Tucker is a guy like if okay. Hang on. Sidebar question. You're an NFL player. You could literally go into a Buffalo Wild Wings, pick up a bartender, take her to your apartment, do whatever you want with her, and give her $75, and she'll be happy as a clam. There's no way that these team-appointed masseuses, is it masseuses or is it mises?
Moose and meese.
There's no way that these team-appointed chicks
Masseusai
are like, it's not like every time the door shuts, it's a goddamn free-for-all and rape fest with these things. Like,
so
now, if you work with someone for years, maybe get a little chatty, maybe get a little familiar or whatever. Maybe you think you have a bond or what. I don't know. But Justin Tucker does this every time before he kicks a kick. Now, sure, guys that did this also killed thousands of Jews and Africans or whatever. But you have to assume he's a good guy. He makes a fucking cross.
So, did you read anything about this?
No.
So these 6 allegations apparently occurred between 2012 2016. So literally 10 to 13 years ago.
Oh my God.
One of the allegations is that Justin Tucker showed up in full uniform. Now, from what I know about NFL players, MLB, NBA, NHL,
They never wear their
these-
uniforms.
these guys are not wearing their own jersey to a bar or a club or a restaurant. Most of them are literally trying to not get noticed, right?
Yeah, you want it, it's called low key or down low.
But some of them definitely want you to know that they're there, but they're not wearing their own fucking
That's why they have dreadlocks and big
jersey.
necklaces, Daryl. Everyone
Yeah.
knows this.
So for me, right then and there, I think it's bullshit. Secondly, if we're gonna talk about massages, and these are supposedly real claims, and these women are very, very traumatized. Why did every one of Deshaun Watson's accusers settle for a monetary amount? Why? If they were so hurt and this damaged them, why did they not want to see him punished to the fullest extent of the law? Because all these bitches are out for the fucking money.
Yeah.
And this story, I mean,
It's a
believe
culture of
women, the
said.
Me Too thing, fuck you. I'm
Yeah,
not believing you anymore. Look
It's a culture
what
said,
happened.
not a
Look,
culture did, or not a culture of what
Hey,
happened.
look what happened to the Duke lacrosse team. Look what happened to
Yeah.
Matt Ariza, who's about to win a fucking Super Bowl.
Yeah. Yep.
All this shit. The same thing happened with fucking Trevor Bauer in the
Mhm.
MLB. All this shit. All these women have to do is like, he raped me.
Yeah.
He asked me to fucking give him a hand job. And everybody's like, oh my God, me too. But everybody says if you are a woman and you believe you were put at risk or you're asked to do indecent things, that you're supposed to say something. Why now are we hearing about this 10 plus years later? Why? Why
Well,
not then?
Now
Why?
she finally has the courage, Daryl, to come forward.
Oh, that's the courage thing.
Yeah.
Or is it because you're falling on fucking hard times, your massages suck, and you ain't
Yeah.
making as much money as fucking Shaniqua
Right.
next door to you?
Yeah.
Fuck off with this,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
Fuck off.
And it sucks. It sucks.
I hate it. And I hate it for them. And it's like we've had this conversation, I think, on the show. Would we rather be rich or would we rather be famous? I'd
Rich.
rather be rich.
Yeah.
I'd rather be worth $300 or $400 million and nobody really know who the fuck I
I'm
am.
literally 2 years away from going into absolute obscurity. Obviously, I'll still do this podcast, but like, I'm done working for other people.
Until I start getting perks, man, I might be done with this podcast.
Yeah,
I
that's
need
fine.
some perks.
Yeah, hang it up, dude. What kind of perks you want?
Dude, I get land-based all the time. And like, how much money are you guys going to make on this? When are you going to go big time? We're not. This is what it is. 2 dudes on a Friday night drinking fucking beers, talking.
To me, it's
We had-
I get.
We had Afro Man. We have a hookup that we might be able to get a couple more D-list celebrities on the show, which would be fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Is what it is. But you guys keep tuning in, and thank you for that. Thank you for supporting us. Thank you for shitting on us. Thank you for having some jokes. Phil, though, top fan, obviously.
London,
the second top
I'm
fan.
gonna go ahead and I'm gonna time that 40. I think it's
Dude, you imagine
7 to 8 times more than what you said.
Could you imagine like normal people fucking running the combine?
We should do old people's combine.
Just 4 people. What does the combine consist of? What do we have to do? And just 4 of us average Joes just go in and do it and see how awful it is.
First of all, if you try to get me to do a broad jump, I think I would die. I like the idea of squatting down and then leaping.
Something's gonna break
dick
in all of
absolutely
us.
hurt.
Yeah.
I would say bench instead of 225, I'd say 125 or 130.
I'm good with 25.
Yeah, so
I got a bad shoulder too, so
me too. Yeah, so I think 130, I'd be good there. I think 20-yard dash. Maybe.
And like the marathon when people are running races and shit, they got the guys with the water. There's like somebody at the end with a cold beer in their hand.
Yeah,
We're like,
yeah.
Here's
our last event.
Dude, Dolts old fuck field day.
Yeah, that's it. Phildo,
God damn it, don't fucking tempt us.
Old fucks field day. In this event, someone's gonna drop a washcloth and you have to bend down without having a hand on the knee to pick it up. He did that in 5.3 seconds. He's a natural athlete. You can't use your toe.
Yeah.
You can't put your hand on the fucking wall. Hey, in this event, you got to take a piss without putting your hand on the wall.
Yeah, just holding yourself up.
Thinking about killing yourself.
They're gonna check your fucking resting heart rate too while it's going on, and blood pressure.
Yeah.
Everything you do, you got a blood pressure cuff on.
Yeah, it sucks, dude. In this event, we're gonna watch strangers walk on your lawn and just your fucking heartbeat.
Oh boy, here it comes.
Here's Daryl. He's picking out shoes. Oh, he's going to the New Balance.
Dude, they're fucking comfy and they have support.
Dude, I did karaoke today, and I was squatting. When's the last time you actually got into a deep squat? It's impossible.
Every Sunday.
Okay, yes, you play hockey, but
yeah,
as an average guy that stands fucking knee locked, squatting's just for the birds.
Stupid,
dude.
man.
I'm over it.
Yeah.
But
I'm like, even when I was with my personal trainer, I'm like at the gym, and I got a 25-pound kettlebell, and he's like, all right, do squat, and he just go down and just it sounds like bubble wrap. I'm like,
yeah.
Oh wait, that's me.
I was fucking over it, dude.
You want to know? I mean, real quick before you go out drinking,
I have to fucking I'm for the people.
I know you are. You and your interpretive dance.
Yeah.
I got caught up the other day when I was outside playing hockey with Brady in a driveway, and I'm like, all right, man, dude, you're just about 52 years old. Now, I don't feel 52 at all. And then I try to remember, like, when I was a kid. I mean, obviously, I have two younger children where when my dad was my age, I was pushing 30,
Damn.
But I'm like, I just remember growing up when I was a kid. My dad worked, whatever. We always played sports at my house, but I'm like, my dad never came out and threw the football or played catch.
Mm-hmm.
We would go out and a bunch of us would be playing basketball, and he'd come home from work and change school, whatever, and come outside, fuck around. And then he'd come over and we'd play horse. He'd shoot some hoops with us. That was about it.
Sure.
So he was never like active. So at his age of 52, it was completely different lifestyle than me at 52.
Yeah.
At 52, I'm golfing all summer. I'm playing volleyball. I play fucking hockey every week. I'm like doing all this shit where my dad was just like, I'm coming home after working 50 hours a week. I'm going to fucking grab my chainsaw, my tractor, go in the woods, cut wood down. And I'm like, it's
still athletic, but different.
He's moving. And that's the thing is, it's still at 72, 73, 74, whatever the fuck he is. 74, 73, whatever. He's still working. He's still driving truck. But he's still on his tractor. He's still cutting wood. He's still mowing lawn. He's still doing it. He's active. Like,
the sedentary shit is what kills you.
It does. And I've seen so many people that retired at 68, 72, whatever. 6 months later, they're dead.
Yeah.
Because they can't handle it. But I'm like, I'm playing sports, and it's like, I got caught up one day sitting there like last Saturday playing hockey with Brady outside. I'm like, I'm going to pay for this.
Yep.
My fucking body is shot. Just standing there playing hockey with him in the driveway and going, but I'm like, my dad never did this with me.
Yeah.
And I want him to go to school saying, hey, what did you do over the weekend? He's like, I played hockey in the driveway with my dad. He was the goalie. I scored 19 goals on him. I was like Alexander Ovechkin. I was Connor McDavid. I was, I roofed one on me, and I want that for him.
Yeah.
So I was like, but it's like, I get caught up being like nostalgic, I guess. Like just wondering, like, man, it just when I grew up, it was different.
Yeah. Well, I was talking to my sister today. We were outside and she'd never seen like the pool and all this stuff. And my kids have go-karts and a dirt bike in the garage. And she's like, man, like you're not giving your kids what you didn't have. It is that, but like it was just a different time and
Yeah, man.
way different situations, right? But I was like, yeah, I want my kids to fucking think that they had a cool life.
Yeah. So,
What's
man.
really fucked up though is you go and do all that stuff. Perfect example. I was out. Tiny's like, we need to figure out what we're going to do for spring break. I was like,
Chili's.
yeah, I was like, Chili's, 100%, baby back ribs. But then finally, I was just like, fuck it. If the trip that you want to go to or the resort that you want to go to in Mexico is going to be $5,800, just fuck it. Just do it. We'll figure it out, you know? And so she books it. And then we tell the kids, hey, you're going to get to go to a completely different country. And we're going to go to a resort that has water slides and a lazy river and the whole fucking kit and caboodle, right? And the first thing Olivia says is, do we have to fly? It's like, I didn't go on a fucking plane until I was fucking 17 or 18 years old.
I was 24 the first flight I ever took.
Yeah. So like, and so as much as you're trying to like build these memories and stuff like that, it's always met with initial animosity.
Yeah.
And then when they're 25 or 30, which I'll definitely be dead for, they're going to be like, he was pretty fucking cool. He bought us go-karts, you know, like, so I'm trying to build a legend status and get a statue erected while I still have time on this world.
I know. And like we were talking and Brady gets excited. He's like, he wants to go all these places. We were supposed to go to Punta Cana here in a couple of weeks when the kids are on vacation. Punta Cana is not a place I want to be. I've heard some stories. I'm not taking my children there, whatever. And I told my wife, I'm like, why don't we go to Savannah? Why don't we get an Airbnb or a Verbo or whatever out on Tybee?
Yeah.
And I'm looking like for a week. And she's like, let's just go Thursday to Monday or some shit. I said, okay. I'm like, rent a house, rent a car. There's massive go-kart rentals all over Tybee.
Totally.
Run a go-kart.
Yep.
What are we gonna do? Take the kids to the fucking beach. And like one day, grab them, drive into Savannah.
Go do a ghost tour with the kids.
Whatever.
They fucking love it.
But the only thing they're not gonna like is the food because they're chicken nuggets. Oh, fuck off. I'm gonna eat all the good food. You're not, whatever. But I'm like, we can go to the fucking beach. We can swim. Guess what, motherfucker? You're in 2 feet deep of water. We're right off the shore having a good time. There's a fucking shark 50 yards away from you. You just swam in shark-infested waters. Go tell your teacher that. You know,
I'll tell you this.
All this cool shit. We could, some night we'll go out. Let's come home, get our shit ready. Let's go out to dinner at one of the restaurants on Tybee. Guess what we're going to do? We're going to get in a golf cart and we're going to cruise around.
Fun.
Nice and slow, just whatever. It's like, I never got that. You want to know what I did? My parents put us in a fucking camper for a week and drove us around New York State.
Oh, yeah.
That's what I got. That. It was fun. I loved it. I'm never going to touch it. I thought it was great. I never got on a plane. I was never taken places.
Right.
We went campgrounds in New York State.
I will tell you this.
We had fun.
Friendly advice for Tybee. I went there, I think, a week after my dad died. I didn't want to go. But Tiny's like, well, we already did the thing, so you kind of have to go. I'm like, okay. So I met her down there a couple days later. I just sat around the house and was a mopey bitch, as one would expect, right? So I get down to Tybee, and I'm at the house, Airbnb, and they're out at the beach. And Tiny's like, hey, we're just out here. So I just walked down, and it was in low tide.
Okay.
So Tanya, Kathy, Tiny's mom, and I walked probably 75 yards out in low tide. And then low tide turns into high tide. And so it was not even past my toenails, water. Then it's up to my foot. Then it's up to my ankle. Then it's up to my knees. And we're still legitimately 35 yards away from shore.
Sure.
Like
Safety zone.
Like dry land.
Where the water's not going to come up to.
And now it's up to my hips, you know? And it's rising palpably. It's not even like
I don't think people realize how quick that comes in.
It comes to collect, dude.
Yeah.
So Kathy turns to me and she's like,
pay the piper, bitch.
She goes, I don't know how to tell you this. I'm like, what? She goes, I don't know how to swim. And I'm like, well, Kathy, we're going to be underwater in probably 4 minutes. So unless you can run a fucking Jason London 40 in 8 seconds, you're not going to make it. So I put my mother-in-law on my back and the water is rising.
Yeah.
And it's getting to here. And I'm basically bouncing off the ground to breathe, coming back down. And every bounce, I'm maybe 3 or 4 centimeters deeper in the water than I was before.
We don't measure things in centimeters here.
Oh, sorry, I do. My dick is exactly.
Oh, that's right, because your fascination with the
British. Yeah, dude. What do you say, milliliters? What would you say?
Inches, dude.
Yeah, but I was saying fractions of an inch. That's
so use half, quarter, eighth of an inch, 3/4 of an inch.
That seems pretty fucking Quebecian to me, dude. So anyways,
uses the metric system.
I get us ashore and we're dying. Like literally I saved my mother-in-law from drowning. So just be wary of high tide. I'm going to go.
That's one thing too, is like, we're not going to fuck around with that because whatever. I mean,
it is really cool,
life jacket. We're going to go out to your waist in the middle of the day. We're going to play in the water. We're going to play in the sand. We're going to hunt some shells, look for sharks.
There's some kick-ass plunge pools.
Yeah.
There's some I would bring a net or buy a net because you can.
Yeah, because we're going to be flying. And I even said, I'm like, whoever owns a Verbo, if they don't have that shit in the house, which I'm wondering probably most of them do.
Most of them do.
I'm like, we'll go to the little stores and buy the $1.99 shit and just tell them, hey, listen, we left them in the back room so somebody else can use them.
Yeah. Tybie's a badass place, dude. I would move there in a second. I love Tybie.
I know. I was shocked when we were there.
Bomb. I hope you're there when the atom bomb finally.
I know that blows up, the one that's offshore and nobody knows what's going on with it.
Oh, it's lost in the muck. Yeah. Is it?
Is it really? I step on it. You just hear a click. You're like,
I hope your toilet seat's rigged to it.
Kristen was like, she was getting a little skeptical about when we went there. I'm like, listen, man, I haven't been here in 25 years. And I don't remember much of it because I was drunk.
It's probably built the fuck up since you were there, though.
Sure. Again, I don't remember it.
Yeah.
But she's like, I had the best time. She goes, the bars, the food,
Savannah rules.
Everything we did. She goes, it was just chill and had so much fun. I'm like, I would go back in a heartbeat. She's like, me too. And I'm like, that's why I mentioned, like, let's take the kids there. It's US. We don't need passports, any of that shit. It's a quick 2.5 hour flight down there.
Yeah. Easy peasy.
Just rent a car and we'll just make it easy and just spend 4 or 5 days there and just take the kids around. And again,
dude, you can rent when you get into Savannah. Let's say you take a Uber from Tybee into Savannah. You can rent those mini cars.
Yeah.
And you're all wearing fucking helmets.
Yeah.
You and Ab can ride together. Her and Brady can ride together, and you're just zipping around.
By the time we
on streets,
it's
fucking great.
I was gonna have her permit in 5 weeks.
Oh, nice. That's crazy.
Oh my God.
From the girl that wouldn't share her gummy bears with me because you made her convinced that I was the worst person on the planet before she even really met me.
She doesn't believe that anymore, though.
Well, she's on my shit list, so fuck her. All right, I'm out.
All right.
Love you, dude.
Love you too, man. Where are we at next weekend?
I'm good.
Where are we?
Earth.
7. Yeah, 7. Because 8th, I have to DJ that party.
All right, so let's go harder than paint next week.
Friday night, yeah.
Sweet, man. All right, love you.
Make Ryan Tracy be the stripper on Saturday.
Let it go.
What time is it? Hey, man, I'm only an hour and 8 minutes late, so I'm good.
I
Not
did
that
it.
my wife's ever going to remember. So go have fun at the bar. Who's going to watch your fucking kids?
My mom.
Kathy's. Yeah.
Not Kathy. Kelly.
Kelly, fuck. Kathy's your mother-in-law.
Built-in babysitter.
Yeah. Oh, shit. I forgot you told me she snuck into town.
Yeah, dude.
Is Sarah upstairs or she's out at the bar with Tanya and
At the bar with Tanya.
Black Jesus?
Yeah, I think Ortez and Tanya are sleeping together. But I'll figure that
Dude,
out.
you got to worry about him hammering your sister.
I don't care about that. I want to know that the person I'm married to can feel me.
I talked down the hallway.